We're not even halfway through this game's life cycle, and I already think we need a little bit of a reminder here. Black Ops 6 is a video game. It cannot hurt you. I promise.
Why am I seeing this shit again? Why? I thought we were past this.
I think there are a couple groups of people in the zombies community that need addressing before we get to the toxicity level that we were pre-BO6. When I start seeing the word objective being thrown around yet again during arguments about the current map, that's when I think things are starting to go sour. I like the tomb. What can I say? This map's fun. I didn't like it at first because of the more shallow nature of the map, but is it a Mob of the Dead? No. Is it a Gorod Crovy? No. Is it a giant? Maybe. And I think that's what we might need to remind ourselves sometimes. Not every single map we get has to be a Terminus or a Citadel.
But Clambo, this is one of the 4 DLC maps we're gonna get. And they wasted it on this shallow experience with cheap cash grab nostalgia bait and lackluster Easter egg steps and a boring map layout.
Don't get me wrong. I hear you. I think it's really funny seeing the difference between then and now on so many different fronts. I think some people might be under the impression that we're getting 4 DLC maps as zombies, and I'm just not buying that. But if we were able to get Nuketown in BO2, Chronicles in BO3, and all this shit we got in BO4, then I truly think there is a high likelihood we will get more than 4 DLC maps this season, especially considering that zombies is way outperforming the other modes, at least in terms of enjoyment of the game. So I think it's plausible and possible to take a step back and realize that this map is definitely one of those Nuketowns or the Giants, or dare I say, more simplistic classic zombies experiences. Personally, I had been a tad burnt out on zombies lately, so something like the Tomb is just what I needed to get my feet wet again back into a more in-depth zombies experience, hopefully in the next map. Mimics suck, glitches suck of course, cutscene sucks, reused assets are annoying, but I'm having fun.
Well, how can you think that, Clam? That's such an L take. You've allowed your standards to lower over the years. Modern players will never understand the true COD Zombies experience. Like, this is crazy. You mean to tell me?
Right, that's okay, buddy. That's okay. Take your time. No more zombies today, okay? No more zombies, okay? Let's go outside, all right? I think this map is being taken pretty divisively by a lot of the community. But I think we just need to check ourselves because it seemed like we're heading back towards where we were before the game even came out. Like, I can feel the toxicity tank refilling. And as a rather small pillar in this community, I have no problem with at least acknowledging what's going on and trying to keep us on the right track. Hear me out on this real quick, okay? I have no problem with people who just genuinely don't like this map. The people who have been keeping up with me should know how I feel about things like subjectivity and objectivity in zombies being discussed. So I'd be a hypocrite if I said that people were wrong for disliking maps like this. If it ain't your thing, I don't blame you. There's plenty of things to dislike about the map. The overall experience of the map seems rushed. Reused bosses, reused music, reused wonder weapon, no voice lines, no intro cutscene, and an outro cutscene that looks half-assed that definitely has to do with the voice actor SAG-AFTRA strike and AI bullshit. Oh, and depth perception sucks. All those are definitely valid critiques of this map, and I share a lot of those views on this map to at least some degree. But I'm starting to see people from the classic zombie section of the community throw shade at people who actually are enjoying the map, but also newer players, or at least newer map enjoyers, boiling down proper criticisms to just being there like they're complaining. Both sides of the spectrum need to go outside and touch some grass.
Granted, I definitely think the former is happening more than the latter, but it does happen.
Because talking about liking or disliking a map in a video game is not that fucking deep, contrary to popular belief. Talking about a point system in a video game is not problematic. Grow up. But what do I think of the Tomb? Well, to be honest with y'all, like I said, I really like it. Do I like it on the level of a Terminus or a Citadel? Not necessarily. However, sometimes I'm in more of a mood to play a simpler map rather than a complex one because I just am sometimes. Maybe simplicity is what means more to me in a zombies map sometimes, because I don't feel like going through the process of a map like Zetsubo all the time, which kind of echoes the idea of classic zombies. You know, simplicity, that's what originally made zombies so good.
But wait a second again, Clambo. If they told us what we were getting before we got the map, we could have set our expectations accordingly. The map is wasted potential. You all know what I'm saying, you know?
I don't know who let you back in. We're supposed to be outside, okay? We're supposed to be outside here. Get your ass back out here. Get out here.
And look, I totally understand that to a degree. dangling things like origins in our face for it not to live up to the depth that the map clearly had back in the day is something to be at least disgruntled over, you know, at the very least. But I do have a couple things I'd like to say about that. I saw Renzaru posted something on Twitter, and I feel that man's frustration to a T about this community sometimes, especially with this tweet. Although I only agree with like half of what he was saying, I do think that a lot of people set their expectations too high even after they read the blog post about the tomb being more similar to Liberty Falls. The only thing I disagree with is that I really do think they probably could have done just a tad more with maybe saying something about that, like in a video format. Like Treyarch could have been like, oh, like they could have just read the blog post in a video about it, and I feel like more people probably would have seen it and been more, you know, receptive to that idea. Because shit, I'm gonna be honest, even I wasn't expecting a more Liberty Falls experience, but honestly, I'm cool with it. Like, I'm not disappointed. I think I'm cool with this. I tend to think people often mistake the forest for the trees in this community. And if you guys don't know what that means, it means sometimes people are so focused on the details of something that they can't see the bigger picture of what it actually is. In the zombies context, I think people often do the opposite, or however you want to view this metaphor. People tend to be focused on what something could be in a map, so much so that they often tend to lose focus on what the map actually is, like right in front of us. And I appreciate my boy Gravity. We were in stream the other night talking about this, and he mentioned that to me about BO4, and I kind of feel that way about Black Ops 4. But let me get back on topic. I don't want to imply that everyone does that, but I hear so much about, oh, this should have been this, and this should have been like this, if only we had this. I think having discussions like that are totally fine and valid when it comes to like expectations, but I think just some people tend to go a little overboard with it, saying like, oh, this map should have been Transit Remastered. This game should have had the Great War map. Like, just kind of still harping on shit like that. I feel like tends to overshadow what like we actually have in front of us sometimes. But don't get me wrong, things like that I'm so guilty of, like having that mindset sometimes. But I just think it's something to like think about and like kind of keep ourselves in check about things like that. Besides me thinking that the story implications on this map make no fucking sense at all other than to like nostalgia bait, I think the tomb is a good map. Well, why? Like I said, it's simple. It's a big ass circle with the cool part of the map being in the middle. Like that makes sense. The ice staff fucks. Nowhere looks awesome despite this comparison, which, by the way, how absolutely insanely saturated is this game, almost to the point that this could probably hurt someone's eyes just looking at it. I love the style of BO3, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they went a little overboard with Revelations. I think there's a perfect amount of color in this map. Bright saturation, I think, has its place in zombies, but I feel like the people who are trying to make these banger tweets have the mindset of less color, more bad. Like, damn, sorry the map doesn't look like this.
But I will admit the skybox does look pretty blurry. I'll give you that.
But anyways, I was about to go more in depth with how I feel about the map, but I think I'm gonna save it for another video because I kind of just wanted to talk about the community today. But just know I'm liking the map. I want to know what you guys have to say about the map and what you guys are feeling about the community at this point in time. But I kind of wanted to come out and maybe set the record straight a little bit, make sure everyone's kind of not going overboard with it. But you know, I kind of felt like I wanted to say something about that. I do think, however, if we get another map like this in the next DLC, then we're going to start having a few issues, I think, because it's cool that this map is maybe kind of a one-off, not as in-depth experience, but it makes sense because it's only a month after the launch of Citadel, which is insane timing. So I'm cool with like a survival map more so to hold us over. But if the mansion is similar to the tomb in terms of its depth, then I think we're going to start having problems. But we'll just have to wait and see. Just let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. As usual, I love reading them. I love going over what you guys have to say about it. That's about it. I have a Discord. I usually don't advertise it in my videos. I just forget to. But if you want to join it, it's a link in the description. But that's about it. Your boy Clambo is out of here. I'll see y'all soon. Peace.